everybody, welcome to Just My 2 Cents, and today it is so beautiful outside. The sun is shining. It's a great temperature outside. I went outside just for a little bit just to stand and just soak in all the rays. And if I had a grill, I would invite some family and friends over, throw some hot dogs and hamburgers on the grill, mix up some good mixed drinks with some of that top shelf, you know what I mean? Like, we would have us a real good time. Throw on some old school on some of the speakers and just have a grandiose time. But we're in quarantine and also don't have a grill, and I feel like even if I did have a grill, I wouldn't invite people over simply because we're in quarantine. So yeah, this is all what I would do if we were under normal circumstances, right? But anyway, all of this good weather and all of this want just to cook out reminded me of an experience that I had back when I was in my early 20s. And I was involved in a cookout that went completely left. And I didn't even see the cookout going left. I thought this was going to be one of the top cookouts that I could remember helping to plan and put on, but this cookout went completely left. When I say left, I mean it went left and it didn't have any rear view mirrors like for it to even return to where it started. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump right into the story. So this is what happened. I used to work with somebody, and this person was really into making sure that sisterhood amongst those who look like her, especially women, was really solidified, really glued together. And she would want to hang out after work and do stuff outside of work. And at the beginning, when we first started working together, I was all down for the get down. I was like, oh yeah, this person is cool. I would love to hang out with this person. She can come over to my house. Well, not really. She can't come over because my house, it was my first place. And if you know anything about trying to get your first place, it's like, I'll come over to your place, but we can go out to eat if you want to come up to my place. So anyway, so I was like, yeah, this person is real cool. It wasn't until about a couple of months in of working with her that I was like, yeah, we can be good co-workers, and I don't mind doing that. But anything outside of work, we just won't be able to help succeed simply because it's not me, it's you. And we're just going to keep it right there. But this story will help explain why I developed some of these emotions towards her and why I decided it was best for me and my self-care just to deal with her at work and not outside in the work capacity. So anyway, like I said, this was in the beginning stages when I was getting to know her. I had been over her house, I believe. I think at this time, I think we had went out to eat. We done grabbed coffee together. It was really cool. I was like, okay, she's really cool. Like, I can probably consider her to be, I'm not even going to say it right now because, but I was like, she could probably be a friend outside of work. I'm like, this is great. Well, she was having the same type of feelings towards me as well in regards to like, yeah, she could be a friend outside of work. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, we can go hang out, we can go shop and stuff, because I had just moved to that city and I didn't know anybody. So she was like really somebody where I was like, okay, cool. Like, if I need something, I can contact her. And if she needs something, she can contact me and we can just, go that route. So with all of that being said, I did not even see what was coming down the pipeline because I'm like, oh wow, like this person is cool and she's introducing me to people and we're going and we're hanging out and like she's really just showing me like what sisterhood looks like outside of family, or what I thought. Anyway, so this is what happened. So she came to me and she's like, hey, in the community they have a tailgate every year. And at this tailgate, it's really directed towards people that don't look like us. She was Hispanic or Latina, and I'm African American. And so she was like, for people of color, it's not common to see us there. We might walk through, but you're not going to see us at the tailgate. And she was like, this year, what about if we have a tailgate? And I'm like, we? And she was like, yeah, like we can come together and we can throw a tailgate. And I was like, okay. And she was like, you can get the DJ and I can get the food and I can get the spot too. And I'm like, okay. And I was like, do you think other people are going to come? She's like, yeah, like you invite your friends outside of this. And this is a good point in the story to say that I didn't really have any friends up there at that time outside of her. That's why I probably was kind of swooned. But anyway, she's like, you invite your friends and I invite my friends and we'll invite some of the other people that I know. And this will just be a really good cookout. And I was like, okay, cool. So I ended up getting a DJ, which was one of my homeboys from when I was in college. He is a DJ and stuff, so we linked up and he was able to come up and DJ for us. And because he was so good at DJing, they actually had him in the middle of the tailgate to like DJ for all the different spots. And so that turned out really good. I was really proud of that, and shout out to him for definitely coming through and making sure that that happened for us. So she got the spot for us to like do our little cookout and stuff at the tailgate. And she got the caterers too. The caterers were some people that I met through her, really good people, African American, small business. They were really in tune with, you know, making sure that I was spiritually fed in regards to, you know, we would talk about the Lord and things of that nature, and, you know, Christianity and things of that nature. So it was one of the things where we really connected on that level, to where she was helping me kind of make my own network. And that's what I meant by relationships early. Like, she was really helping me create a network up there. And that's why I really had so much at first respect for her, simply because of that. And so when she asked me to do this tailgate, I was like, okay, cool. Like, it's nothing for me to want to do this tailgate with you. You know, let me just look at some things or rearrange some things around, and let's definitely do this. Especially because, you know, if this is going to help, you know, make other people feel welcome at these tailgates, and like, let's do this, of course. So anyway, moving on. So everything gets squared away. Friend come through, he DJ, everybody having a good time at the cookout. And it was not only a place where we would have just people of color at our tailgate site, we would also have you know, other people who, you know, I'm just gonna say it, we had like white people come through and engage with us. We had them out there dancing and stuff. They would come over and eat some of our food. Like, we would go to their tents and stuff and eat some of their food. Like, it was one of them things where we really want to make sure that everybody felt included in what we were doing, and not just it be something for just people of color, but for everybody. So I really enjoyed that. And so I'm thinking the cookout is going great. People, you know, coming and going, having a good time and laughing. People were strolling. I mean, we were out there, we were doing the thing. But anyway, so let me get to the point to where it goes left, and it just stays left. It started to go left when I noticed that people were putting things or their trash inside of this blue bin. And this blue bin was kind of similar to if you ever moved anybody into like a college dorm, or if you ever been to like a hotel and you need to carry like a whole bunch of luggage in, or if you ever, I don't know, had to ever move anything. It's like one of those big bins you put a whole bunch of stuff in, and you kind of, it has the wheels and stuff on it, so you kind of move it to where you need to go when you take the stuff out. It was one of those kind of bins. And so I started seeing people starting to throw things in there. And I was like, well, maybe, you know, she got trash cans or something in there. I was like, I don't know, because I didn't sign up for that responsibility. My responsibility was to DJ and make sure everybody was okay. Her responsibility was the food and the location of making sure that all was okay. And then the tailgate starts to wind down, and she was like, hey, can you help the caterer start to break down and help put their things away so that they can pack up food and get out of here? I'm like, yeah, of course. And so I'm thinking this is about to be a partnership between me and her. Like, I'm over here wrapping it and rolling up stuff and putting it in foil and all this other stuff, and she's gonna be on the other side of me helping me do that. No, I'm wrapping stuff up, I'm putting stuff in foil, I'm helping them break down stuff that they need, or that they brought and stuff like that. I'm helping them break down their food, their catering utensils and supplies and all this other stuff. And she over there telling people bye, and she over there recapping the cookout with them and stuff like that. And I'm sitting there like, oh, wait a minute. Like, this is something where we both agreed to do this. So since we both agreed to do this, we need to both be over here helping people break down so that they can leave. And it wasn't like they were in a rush to leave. It was like I said, the cookout and the tailgate was winding down. So, you know, when stuff is winding down, you want to go ahead and have your stuff ready so that when it's time for you to go, you don't have to tarry around, right? So she over there saying bye to people. I'm over here helping to wrap stuff up. The caterers start to notice that too. And so, you know, we don't say nothing. We kind of give each other the eye, and then we still wrapping and putting stuff up and all this other good stuff. And then she come to me after the caterers are just putting the final touches in, because I helped them get everything towards where they needed to, like where their car was located. And then she came to me and she's like, hey, one more other thing. And I'm like, yeah, of course. Because I'm like, oh, it's time to go. I'm like, first off, I told her that I can only be here for a certain amount of time because it's a Saturday, and I really don't do tailgates and stuff like that, because I mean, I don't really do football like that, and I really wasn't trying to be outside, and it was also a Saturday, and I needed my time. I hate to be like that, but I needed my alone time so I could recharge for the next week. And she's like, well, before you go, I have one more thing to ask. So I'm like, okay, cool, what's up? And she was like, well, the blue bin over there, she's like, a whole bunch of people threw trash in it. I'm like, yeah, I noticed that too. Like, they were throwing like their cups and plates and stuff in there. I'm like, you know, did you have a trash can in there? And then she was like, no, but people were using it as a trash can. And I'm like, at this point, I'm looking at her like, why didn't you say anything to those people? Like, you were in closer proximity to those people to say something to them than I was. Because I was going back and forth between where our tent was or our cookout spot was or whatever and the DJ. Going back and forth. I'm like, why didn't you say anything? She's like, well, I didn't say anything because when I really noticed it, I didn't know how to say anything, or whatever she had said at the time. It was an excuse. Bottom line, it was an excuse to where she just didn't want to say anything to make somebody mad or whatever. And I'm like, so what you want to do? And she was like, well, I was hoping that you wouldn't mind getting the trash out of this blue bin and putting it into these trash bags that I got from the caterer. I looked at her and I said, what? And then she's like, yeah, I want you to take the trash out of these blue bins and put it in these trash bags. So at this point, the caterer, they looking at me, I'm looking at her, and she looking at me. And I'm like, yeah, I don't care who you know. I don't care who you know. I don't care what kind of network you helping me build. I don't care how much of a sisterhood that you are trying to establish with me. I don't care about none of this, because I'm sitting here like, I'm not sticking my hand inside of a bin that people have thrown cups and stuff that they drank out of, plates they have eaten out of or off of, and not it's just all kind of stuff in the, no, I ain't doing that. So she was like, well, if you don't do it, then they're going to find us. And I'm like, well, that's above me, sis. Like, that's on you. If they find us, they find us. If they say that we can't come back and do stuff, then we just can't come back and do it. Like, I don't care. I don't even look up there no more. I don't care. You know, and she's like, well, they won't allow us to just, you know, da. And then she kept going on and on and on about fines and all this other stuff. And it just got to the point to where I was like, okay, let me just do this so I can leave, and then on Monday, when you see me, just act like you don't see me. If we don't have to like communicate or talk, you can just miss me with all of this, because I was very pissed at this time. Like, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. I was pissed. Like, you want me to dig my hand in there and put it in these trash bags? And I'm like, you know what? If she's going to help me do this, then I'm going to still be pissed, and I still want her to ignore me on Monday and like we don't even know each other. But at the same time, it's like we doing this together. So she's like, okay, cool. She's like, my fiance is going to help you. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm thinking, this sounds a little odd, because you're saying that your fiance is going to help me, but it should be a we, because we agreed to do this and not me and your fiance. Me and your fiance, we just met. He cool or whatever. I think we probably met before, but anyway, we knew each other or whatever because I think we met before, but I didn't make this deal with him. I made this deal with you to put this activity on. And so she's like, well, he's going to help. And like I said, the caterers, they still looking at me. They're like, sis, what are you going to do? And it got to the point to where, you know, I was like, okay, let's go ahead and do this. So when I was, you know, when we agreed, because at this point, only reason I agreed because I thought that she was going to help. You know, and that's me being 22, 23, but 23-ish years old at the time, 22, 23-ish. Oh, I want to say I was 23. Anyway, that's me being that age, being naive and thinking, you know, okay, whatever. Like, if she's going to help, then I'm going to help, then that's going to be that. So the caterers, they were so great. They was like, here you go, here go some gloves. Put these gloves on and stuff. Because, you know, they're older African-American people and they could see what was going on. And so they were like, take these gloves and put them on. And I was like, okay, cool. So they gave me like, you know, gloves and doubled up and stuff like that. And they gave her fiance gloves and stuff. And so he is reaching in there, grabbing stuff. I'm reaching in there, grabbing stuff. It's the liquids everywhere. I'm looking around like, wait, like, where is she at? She is nowhere to be found. Like, as soon as we start grabbing stuff to put from the blue bin into the trash can or to the trash bags they gave us, she gonna say, well, I'll be right back. I want to tell such and such about it. I want to thank them for coming and all this other stuff. So she completely dipped. Like, when I say she dipped, like, she dipped. She dipped to the point to where she didn't even come back until it was over. And then she was like, well, can you help me roll this bin down the hill? And I'm sitting here like, yo, because the bin had to go back down the hill to the place to where she had got it from, like, earlier that day. And I was like, sis, like, I don't even know what I'm calling this lady sis at this point. I was looking at this lady like, me and your fiance, we done got trash out of this bin to put into a trash bag. We got, like, even though they gave us gloves and stuff like that, like, it was just the fact of, like, feeling nasty because, like, juices and all this other stuff was all over our hands from that trash can. And she's like, do you think it's the place for us to wash it out? I'm like, I'm not washing nothing. I ain't washing nothing. Simply because of the fact that, like, we don't have a water hose. So anything we put in there is going to splash up into our face. And so I'm like, whatever you decide to do is what you decide to do. Like, I'll roll it back down the hill with you, but just know that afterwards, like, I'm getting in my car and I'm leaving. And she was like, okay, cool. Then she was like, well, thank you so much for helping with all this, da da da. And then this is when we're rolling the bin down the hill. And when we finally get it back to this location, we walking back to our car. She's like, well, how do you think it went? When I tell you, I didn't have any words. And then she was like, are you okay? And I just kept sitting there just, like, staring because I didn't know how to even formulate what I wanted to say. I didn't even know how to articulate what I wanted to say without it damaging anything pertaining to, like, our friendship that I knew at that point was just unsalvageable at all. And then going into, like, a workspace, and I was like, yeah, like, I put it like this. I didn't say nothing to that lady. She asked me, was I okay? I said, yeah. Then I walked up the hill and I got in my car and I drove off. Because I was outdone. First off, you got me over here cleaning up while you telling people bye. Then to, like, just make the whole situation worse. I think even if the cleaning up situation never happened, just the whole situation of me having to pull trash out of a bin to put it inside of a trash bag while you over here telling people bye and want to talk to them and all this other stuff while I'm over here doing all the manual labor. Like, that really just took me aback right there because I'm like, wow. Like, you don't even really respect me. Like, yeah, I'm younger than you and stuff like that, and we are the two only, like, people of color at our jobs, and you want to make that connection not only at the job but outside the job. But for us to come together to agree to do this, outside of a capacity of where we have to interact on like a personal capacity. Like, no. Like, no, like what you was doing, it wasn't cool at all. And even when we did have a conversation about like what happened, she never even like recognized how wrong that was. She was like, well, you didn't even say anything. I'm like, I was about to clap my hands, but I don't know how this echo is going to go. But she was like, you didn't even say anything. But I'm like, I shouldn't have to say anything. I'm like, I asked you a lot of probing questions so that it wouldn't get nasty in front of other people, because I understood that, you know, let me ask these questions and maybe anybody with common sense will understand, well, yeah, I need to be over here helping too, because I made this deal with her. It was my idea. I made this deal with her. Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's have this, tailgate together from start to finish as a team, and not, oh, well, when it's time to do the manual work of cleaning up and, oh, well, people have messed up, let me not help her. You know, it was one of the things where it's like she kind of just left me out there to do all the dirty work while she was out there just saying hey and all this other stuff to people and buying stuff to people. And I really wasn't cool with that, and she never understood that. And so my thing is like this, like, if you can't understand what you did, why it was wrong, and you can't even like apologize for it. And it's one of them things where she's like, well, I apologize if you feel. And when people say crap like that, like those people right there, they're just not, they're, anyway, we're gonna move on. And so for all the people who are saying, well, you really made a big deal out of nothing, I just want to tell you all that after me and her, like, this little friendship or whatever, it kind of dissolved, then somebody else I know, they came up in ranks or whatever at the job, and she kind of, latched on to them and started doing some of the same things that she was doing, like trying to open up their network and trying to bond with them and all this other stuff. And come to find out, she did the same thing to that person. So it really wasn't, and this person is also younger than me. So I think, but she's only like a year younger than me. So it wasn't necessarily like, this person like 18. This person was what? If I was 23 at the time, this person was just a year younger than me. So it was one of them things where she is an older person. So she probably knows how to manipulate younger people by saying, oh, well, and that person who was younger too, they had just moved up here too. So, well, I'm not there no more, but they had just moved up there too. So it's one of the things where it's like she has to network. She understands the power of that network and all this other stuff. So it's like, you're going to do what I say, or you're not going to be able to get this network. But see, the thing is, that's why it's important for you to build a network within that network, so that when you kind of break ties with people, you can still have a network of your own. Because outside of that, we most for sure, definitely, a lot of them people, we keep in contact. And I'm definitely hung out with them and had them come do some other things for me, especially the caterers and stuff, outside of stuff dealing with her. So with that being said, that's how the cookout went wrong. For sure. Like, and the thing is, like, now I'm in my late 20s. So if this was to ever happen again, somebody would be like, hey, I need to do this. Nope. Would you like to do this? Nope. Especially if somebody, they're like, well, I need you to get trash out of a bin. Well, I'm not able. But you can. And I will support you from a distance. But I'm not doing that. So, yeah. I guess this is the end of the video. Like, share, subscribe. Put your comments. Put your stories about how cookouts have gone wrong or how people have taken advantage of you. I think that's the most important thing about this, is don't allow people to take advantage of you. Don't allow them their network and all this other stuff, how they try to use the bond with people to take advantage of you, especially when they know that you're, I'm not going to say I was in a vulnerable state, but it's like when you're new somewhere and people know that you're new and they know that you're trying to establish friendships and networks and stuff, sometimes they can take advantage of you. So yeah, like I said, like, share, subscribe, share, comment, share stories and stuff below, and I'll see you on the next video.